The sky hung low that evening, heavy with the scent of rain. Maya clutched her thin coat tighter around herself as she hurried down the crowded street after a long shift at the cafe. Her shoes were soaked, her hands numb, but her heart was still soft enough to notice what others didn't. An old man struggling to carry 2 heavy grocery bags at the crosswalk. Most people passed by, pretending not to see him. The man's frail hands trembled under the weight, and one of the bags tore slightly, spilling apples onto the wet pavement. Maya didn't even think twice. She bent down, picked up the apples, and smiled. Let me help you, sir, she said gently. The old man looked up, surprised. His gray eyes were kind but tired. Oh no, dear, you don't need to trouble yourself. It's no trouble, Maya replied. Come on, where are you heading? He pointed to a narrow lane a few blocks away. She carried one bag and offered her arm. The rain began to fall harder, but Maya held the groceries close and walked beside him through puddles. Along the way, the man told her his name was Mr. Alder. His voice was calm but carried the weight of years. He mentioned that he had lost his wife a few years ago and didn't have children. Maya nodded quietly, feeling a pang in her chest. She knew that kind of loneliness too well. When they reached his home, a small, older-style house tucked between tall modern buildings. He invited her inside for tea. She hesitated but agreed, mostly to make sure he was okay. The house was warm, smelling faintly of cedar and old books. On the mantel stood photos of a younger Mr. Alder with a woman who looked elegant and kind. They sat for tea. The man thanked her again and again. Before she left, he asked softly, "Why did you stop for me when no one else did?" Maya shrugged. "Because I'd hoped someone would do the same for me." He smiled, eyes glistening. "The world needs more hearts like yours." She left, not realizing those words would echo back in a way she could never imagine. That night, Maya returned to her tiny apartment, still smiling faintly at the thought of the old man's gratitude. Life wasn't easy. She worked 2 jobs, barely paid rent, and had no family left, but moments like that reminded her there was still kindness in the world. The next morning, however, her world shifted. As she stepped outside her building to head to work, a sleek black car was parked across the street. 4 men in black suits stood near it, their posture too rigid to be casual. For a second, she froze. The scene felt like something out of a movie. One of them stepped forward. "Miss Maya Khan?" Her heart raced. Yes. He nodded politely. "Mr. Alder would like to see you." Her mind spun. "Mr. Alder, the old man from yesterday." "Yes, ma'am," he replied calmly. "Please come with us." Fear and confusion tangled in her chest. She thought maybe something had happened. Maybe he was hurt. But the men looked serious, almost protective. After a few seconds of hesitation, she got into the car. As the car glided through the city, Maya's mind was a storm. Who exactly was this old man? Why would he send 4 bodyguards for a girl like her? When they arrived, she realized they weren't heading back to the same small house. Instead, they stopped at a massive wrought iron gate guarded by security cameras. Beyond it stretched a grand estate, marble fountains, rose gardens, and a mansion large enough to fit her entire neighborhood. One of the men opened the door for her. "This way, Miss." Maya followed, every step echoing in disbelief. Inside, the air smelled of polished wood and luxury. A maid led her to a sunlit study, where the same old man, Mr. Alder, sat comfortably by the window. Only now, he wasn't wearing his worn-out coat. He was in a tailored suit, and a gold-tipped cane rested beside him. Maya blinked, stunned. I don't understand. You live here. Mr. Alder chuckled softly. "Yes, my dear. I apologize for yesterday's disguise. I wanted to walk through the city unnoticed." Disguise, she whispered. He nodded. "People treat you differently when they think you're poor or old. Yesterday, you saw me as a man, not as a name or a fortune. That's rare." Maya didn't know what to say. The shock was too big, too surreal. Mr. Alder leaned forward. "Maya, you didn't hesitate to help a stranger in the rain. Most would have walked away. That tells me everything about who you are." She blushed, staring at her hands. "It was nothing, really." He smiled. "It was everything." Then he said something that made her heart pound. "I'd like to offer you a chance that could change your life." Maya sat frozen in her chair, unsure whether to feel grateful or terrified. Mr. Alder poured tea again, his hands steady. "I'm an old man," he said, "and I've built a life filled with wealth but little warmth. My late wife always said money means nothing without people to share it with. You reminded me of her kindness, her courage." He gestured toward the window, where the city skyline shimmered in the distance. "I want to help you, Maya, not as charity, but as gratitude." Her voice trembled. "Help me." He smiled. "I've seen people take advantage of others all my life. I want to do something different before I'm gone." "You're studying?" "Yes. Nursing, I believe." She nodded, surprised. "How do you know that?" Asterisk, he chuckled softly. I asked around the neighborhood after you left. You work hard. You care for people. That deserves a chance. Asterisk, then, he slid a document across the table, a scholarship form, fully funded, tuition, housing, and living expenses. Everything. Asterisk, Maya's throat tightened. Sir, I can't accept this. Asterisk, you can, and you should, he said firmly, but only on one condition. Asterisk, what's that? Asterisk, that you promise to pay it forward one day. When someone needs a hand, you give it without expecting anything back. Asterisk, tears blurred her eyes. She nodded silently. Asterisk, from that day on, Maya's life began to transform. She left her cafe job and focused entirely on her nursing degree. Mr. Alder became her mentor. Like the grandfather she never had, they had lunch together every Sunday, talking about everything from books to humanity to the small miracles of daily life. Asterisk, months passed, and Mr. Alder's health began to fade. Maya visited him, often at his mansion, sometimes bringing soup or reading aloud when his eyesight failed. Asterisk, one afternoon, as the autumn leaves fell outside, he called her to his bedside. His voice was weak but peaceful. Asterisk, my dear, he whispered, I've had everything, wealth, fame, power, but the greatest gift came from the girl who carried my bags in the rain. Asterisk, Maya wept silently, holding his frail hand. Don't say that, please. Asterisk, he smiled faintly. Promise me you'll keep helping people. That's how you'll keep me alive. I promise, she said, voice breaking. He closed his eyes with a smile, whispering, good, that's all I ever wanted. Mr. Alder passed away that night, leaving behind a legacy far greater than money, compassion. A week later, Maya received a sealed letter from his lawyer. Inside was a handwritten note and a key. The note read, Greater than my dearest Maya, I've left something for you, not for wealth, but for purpose. The small clinic in the South District now bears your name. Use it to heal others. That's how you'll honor me. Asterisk, when Maya visited, she found a small but well-equipped medical clinic with a plaque outside. Asterisk, the Aldercon Community Clinic where kindness begins. Asterisk, she stood in front of it, tears streaming down her cheeks. The same bodyguards who once fetched her now bowed respectfully before her, assigned to protect the very clinic she would run. Asterisk, years later, people in that community still told the story of a poor girl who once helped an old man in the rain, and how that small act of kindness changed hundreds of lives. Asterisk, whenever someone asked Maya how it all began, she would smile softly and say, Asterisk, it started with 2 heavy bags, and a simple choice to care.